ladies and gentlemen, my whacked out murals freestyle, shot, edited, done. The premiere of the video it's dropping tomorrow. It's dropping tomorrow. Can't wait for y'all to see this. I'm super excited. You know, I'm just a fan. So get ready. And if you're ready for whacked out murals, put in the comment whacked out murals, but spell it WAKED. Now, today we got a video on Kendrick Lamar and Andrew Schulz. It just keeps happening, bro. Did that just end another career? Let's get to it.
Kendrick Lamar in 2024. It seems like no matter who the person he is at odds with is, and no matter what Kendrick says when he is calling them out, whenever somebody has been in any sort of conflict or confrontation with the biggest rapper on the planet right now, they just completely lose all composure and did an attempt to make a response and come back to Kendrick, just end up doing irreversible damage to their own careers instead of doing anything to make him look worse. And now, while earlier in the year, we saw this happen to Drake, of course, and he still hasn't come back from it, now we are seeing another crash out from somebody who tried to clap back at Kendrick Lamar in a much different way with comedian Andrew Schulz, and really with what Schulz just did and how he is handling all of the backlash he is getting from it. If what happened to Drake after
I reacted to, on my comedy channel, I reacted to one Andrew Schulz clip, and he was roasting, I think he was a heckler, which I always like comedians roasting hecklers. So, but the more I look into Andrew Schulz and the more it's just like, Charlamagne, that's your boy? That's your mans? You giving out a lot of donkey of the days, you know what I mean? Look towards that direction, you feel me? Because you very pro-black. You know what I mean? Sometimes when it's just like uncalled for, I mean, it's never uncalled for to be pro-black, but sometimes when the situation isn't as serious, yeah. So,
Kendrick Lamar
talk to your man.
His career in nearly every single way possible. There is almost no
now,
way.
Now, is his career hurt? I don't know. Just because if you are a fan of this man, I don't think that that's going to make him being racist or having racist jokes or having things that cross the line or just hacky. My thing isn't even just about being racist or having racist jokes, because there's ways that you could angle that where it's funny, but he's just hacky to me. It's just like, I'm a fan of comedy. It's just hacky, played out jokes, like the most obvious. He's Asian? Oh, okay. Here comes he can't drive joke. Oh, sweet. Oh, he's black? Here comes the deadbeat dad joke. Oh! Like,
comes out of this with his career intact. But now
I've heard it 100 other times. Funny.
Be sure to leave a like and subscribe. It helps me out a ton. And so now when it comes to Kendrick Lamar's latest beef, before we even get into what pushed Kendrick to call Schulz out for his questionable actions on his album GNX's intro track, Whacked Out Murals, when we look at Andrew Schulz, beyond being a comedian who just represents everything wrong with comedy in today's day and age, throughout this entire year,
he's one of those anti-woke warriors who are ironically just as insufferable as the people that they're making fun of. I'm telling you, what's happening right now in comedy is about to turn on its own head. And now the joke, because I'm seeing more comedians like Anthony Jeselnik, a bunch of comedians who are actually doing way funnier stuff, poking fun of these comedians, because now they've lost the plot. When they think they're the last bastion of freedom of speech, and they're like, oh, we hate how everything's political, but they are the most political crybabies you will ever see. These are the people who act like they don't care about it. Oh, we don't get offended about anything. That just means they're not offended by, when you find the thing that offends them, oh, trust me.
Schulz has been a figure in media and pop culture, who that while Kendrick Lamar was on a mission to go after Drake, J. Cole, and just change the direction of where hip-hop was going, Schulz constantly bashed Kendrick Lamar and tried to diminish his greatness. And overall, all of Schulz's sentiments were alluding to the fact that Kendrick was a clout chaser for going after Drake, and really for being someone who does not deserve the success and praise that they get. And Schulz never really let up on this standpoint, even after Kendrick...
I'm sure the person who got the Charlamagne stimulus pack has the audacity. The Charlamagne stimulus pack got a little Joe Rogan stimulus pack. I'm sure it should be the one talking about who deserves to be in certain places.
Kendrick clearly won the beef, and like other Drake stans did, He just made excuses when Drake lost and said that Kendrick cheated his way into winning by making false claims and narratives and then stepping over the line, which is going to be important to keep in mind for later. And so now fast forward to today, and after on Whacked Out Murals when Kendrick Lamar had a line that was clearly calling out Schulz, Schulz has officially responded to Kendrick Lamar on his show, and with what he just decided to cook up after.
And that, like I always said, he has the weirdest mustache and hair where it's just like, it looks like French Hitler Youth. French Nazi Youth. That's what it looks like.
All things considered, and seeing just how much Kendrick Lamar can say about his competition was a pretty light diss in the grand scheme of it all, even if you want to call it that. What Schulz just did is going to go down as one of the worst responses to being...
Well, Fantastic Hip Hop didn't also speak about why Kendrick said that. It was the clip between the two UK podcasters. They have the podcast called Shits and Gigs. If you guys go back to that clip where they were talking about being attracted to certain races of women, I never understood why the Shits and Gigs people got more backlash, and I think it's because you kind of expect that from this guy. Like, look, when you look at him, look at this haircut, you kind of expect that. Like, that's like stereotypical. Like, yeah, this guy's he's gonna be racist, or he's gonna think that racism is that's just humor. The thing that I don't understand about these comics is like I said, I'm all for freedom of speech. I'm a rapper. And nobody's taking away your freedom of speech by speaking about how they feel about what you said, by the way. So all these people be like, freedom of speech, don't even understand what that means. Are you going to jail for what you said? No, then you got your freedom of speech. Is the government going to act on you? No, then you got your freedom of speech. You don't have freedom of consequence, though. That's what you niggas really want. What I don't understand, y'all, is the punchline just be racism. That's just, if you like, the punchline could be something, the setup could be like, oh, I went here, then there's like a bait and switch or a rug pull, then it's like, oh, that's clever. It's just, there's a new breed of comedian that they think they don't even need, they're not even clever anymore. Like, they're just not clever. I've always liked comedians because they're like rappers to me, but it's like, comedy's like in the mumble rap era right now, where it's just like, you niggas aren't even trying anymore, huh?
Called out in a rap lyric by a celebrity of all time. And beyond just that, Schulz is really going to join someone like his idol Drake for being on one of the greatest crash outs of the entire year, because with what he said, after acknowledging that Kendrick dissed him, trying to be funny, and talking about how the GNX album is a good record, but that he's just mad because of the diss. After Schulz made it clear that he would never mess with the people who Kendrick Lamar hangs around with, he then went on to say that because of Kendrick Lamar's height, which again, notice these parallels between him and Drake's insults, that he would be able to take on Kendrick because of his size and stature, and with the rest of...
Yeah, but the people around him, he said he'd never go to people around him, but don't you live in LA? Like, I don't know if anything's gonna happen to him, but it's like, yeah, well, this is a really bad way of not provoking the people around Kendrick. I'll just let you know that.
Of what Schulz said. I can't even say it in this video because it's really that bad, but for those who don't know, what Schulz went...
He said he would essay him. He would say that if they're in jail, like I said, he's a hacky comic, so it's jail. He makes a jail joke, so where's it going? Oh, essay! Oh, I didn't see that one coming. Oh, let me guess. Don't drop the soap. Ah! Y'all get paid for this comedy.
Went on to say in an entire multi-minute bit where he got into extensive detail of what would go down between him and Kendrick Lamar was this...
Fam, I've seen this hacky joke since the Fresh Prince, like since before that. Like, come on, bro. It's a house party. Like, come on. Okay. You couldn't have thought, you had all this time to think of something funny and you could, like, I look at the same way as a rapper would have, like, man, you could have hit him harder than that.
Same thing that Drake rapped about happening to Kendrick on
and even like him saying you're so small, I could essay you is another comedian's joke. Like, I've heard that joke 100 times. Where specifically the way he says, like, I can't remember what was the comedian's like. No. You're literally so small. If I wanted to hold you down and kiss you, there's nothing you could do. There's another comedian stand-up who already made that joke and he just ripped the joke. He just ripped the exact thing. I can't remember the comedian, but I'm not even mad at it being racist or whatever. I don't care about that. It's not funny. Like, it's just hacky, bro. Like,
part 6.
And that's the ultimate sin for a comedian.
Drake tried to frame as this moment that ruined his life and made him so against everything the OVO rapper stood for in the first place. And that was, of course, the whole Mother Eye section of the track, where Drake misunderstood one of the most devastating and powerful songs Kendrick Lamar has ever wrote, which was about his very own mother's experience and not his. And as Schulz made what may be the strangest comeback to being dissed ever, everyone went crazy over this, as from people who are close to Kendrick Lamar and from TDE just clearly being baffled.
Yeah, these are the people that are around him.
With the response, to even Drake fans who are now trying to get a win by saying that Kendrick and his camp are soft, as they are now using the stance that there should be rules in what people can say in a back and forth to try and call Schulz out. There has been so much discourse about this moment, and I think
Drake is literally suing for what was said on Not Like Us.
when it comes to this situation at its most fundamental level, I mean, this doesn't take a lot to see, but everyone's supporting Schulz and trying to use this to show that Kendrick Lamar has a double standard for things that he can do but not have used against him. It's just blatantly wrong and lacks a sense of skill to really assess the music and media they interact with.
Well, I mean, and this is the thing that I don't understand. Like, they don't want freedom of speech. You want freedom of consequence. Kendrick is not calling the cops on you for saying that. He's saying, I don't want to hear that shit. Let's not let no white comedian talk about no black women. That's law. What the hell, what impede in that? Like, it would be the same way where if I said, don't speak on my mom, right? You have every legal right and every right under the Constitution and everything to say what you want about my mom. Now, if I jaw you, right? That's all that is. It ain't having a double standard, nigga. If I make fun of you, you can say the same thing. Say, hey, don't say that, or I'll jaw you. And now, if I say that thing, that means I'm ready for, you know what I mean? For what comes after that, the consequences. That's just saying, like, we're not gonna let him talk about him. That's not. What the hell are you talking about?
And really,
that's not a double standard, nigga.
It just goes against the very roots of both rap and comedy as art forms and as these tools of unfiltered expression. Because let's be clear about this, as Andrew Schulz did and showed, he could have said anything he wanted, and that's exactly what he did. But just like if two rappers were beefing, whatever is being used to take down your opponents with words is going to be judged by the people, and either
that's what these comedians do. Oh my god, all of the freedom of speech. We're the last comedy bastion Rogan's fear. Those unfunny comedians that Cat Williams was talking about. He's one of them. He's one of them. All y'all do is complain about consequence. None of y'all have gone to jail for anything y'all said. Y'all weren't NWA and F the police and the police arrested y'all. Y'all weren't even like the Lenny Bruces and the people who are like on the line getting their comedy albums destroyed. And like, you're just niggas on stage complaining about something that's not happening to you. What it is this is what they'll do. They'll make a joke and be like, people are so sensitive, right? You guys are snowflakes. They're so sensitive. And then somebody will go on like social media and talk about it and say how it's not funny. Then that will make them mad, showing that they're sensitive snowflakes too. Like, what?
And to circle back to Kendrick calling out Drake for weird claims and actions, and when it comes to something that both Schulz and others can't understand, Kendrick Lamar calling out Drake for all of his weird actions and claims over the years we have seen worked. Because at the bottom line, it was rooted in reality. And it wasn't just this weird and out of nowhere claim that was saying that he was going to do awful things to Drake. But what Kendrick was saying was actually exposing something that, from what we can see, already had some truth to it. And that maybe a lot of people were just refusing to really see with their own eyes. And so really with Schulz, and just like Drake did with The Heart Part 6, their comments about such a horrible thing, which really, to just frame this in its proper context, if we want to look back at the moment that Kendrick Lamar has rapped about guiding his efforts this year both on Meet the Grams during the beef and Whacked Out Murals now, which was the Cat Williams Shannon Sharp interview, which is now credited for kicking off this year that has been all about exposing the truth. And the one thing that stands out to all of these points now is that Cat Williams said here that this horrible action that Schulz and Drake tried to use in these gotcha moments is never...
And see, this is an actual comedic. This is Cat Williams, nigga. So it ain't just about, oh, it's comedians versus. No, it's not, nigga. Like, you still have to be funny. And I think there's this new era of edgelord comedy, incel comedy, where you don't have to be funny anymore. You just have to be edgy. You can use the same hacky jokes that have been used since the 70s about prison RA dropping the soap. You could literally almost verbatim steal another comics. You're so small I could kiss you on the cheek if I wanted to. or I can't remember the exact thing, but another comedian has already done that bit. You don't really have a punchline or any clever narrative. You don't have any like insight that's more than what people are saying. That's what I like from comedians. That's why to me Dave Chappelle is the greatest comedian, because even in like his skits with the N-word family, the nigger family, at face value it's just hilarious. It just looks like, but if you watch the skit and see what he's saying, it's actually genius the way he's flipping the word, but it's just like, and it's really more speaking, it's a subverted expectation. That's what a lot of good comics have. These niggas just be saying things like
They're funny no matter what the circumstances are.
they're basically
I mean,
doing
this
knock
isn't just
knock
a
jokes
rule of
now.
comedy
Like,
or rappy for that matter. But it's just a part of human nature, because there are things that no matter how you spin them, and especially with the way Schulz got so into detail, that there is purely no comedic
I'm glad he
or
didn't play the Schulz
entertainment
clip.
value within. And this is the distinction that needs to be made, because just like Drake, who was an absolute sore loser and who had nothing left to say, so he decided to resort to one of the worst things that can happen to try and make fun of Kendrick in one of the most tasteless ways we have ever seen.
this is where I disagree too. Not actually, no, it's not a disagreement, because he didn't say where my taste differs. Like I said, with the Andrew Schulz saying the essay and what he was going to do to Kendrick, to me the most offensive part of that is it's hacky and one of the most played out jokes. There wasn't a new angle. There wasn't nothing to it. It's just saying other comedians' jokes. That's just not funny to me. If it was funny, I would have. If there was some more to it, I would have laughed. I would have been like, yeah, y'all tripping. It's just not funny. It's just stupid. It's just like, you need to be roasted because you're just not funny, nigga. And with the Drake thing, all is fair in love and battle rap. I always say that. Don't join a battle if you're not ready to hear the worst things about you. It's that simple. That simple. So I don't even knock Drake for doing that. I don't. Like, maybe I'm calloused because I watch so much battle rap and stuff like URL and shit, but it's like, come on, bro.
Seen in a diss track. Schulz managed to do the same thing, and maybe even in a worse way, which is saying a lot, just because of how much he went on and on about what he was trying to do.
The token
and really,
in there
with the
too.
situation being this bad for
Laughing.
Schulz,
Oh, Schulz, you're so funny. I'm in the comedy world and I've never heard these jokes before. I'm black, so it makes it okay. Oh my God! Tell me another one about dropping the soap. I've never heard that.
Statement to say that his career really may be over, because just as Schulz did this, now people have been digging into his past, where they have found out, just like his buddy DJ Academics and the guy he stands, Drake, they have some weird cases, which makes something like he did become even more troubling and questionable, because the lines just get blurred of when it starts to seem like, even in real life, if what he was saying is fully a joke, because some of the things that have been said about him...
Don't tell me you got another Chris D'Elia.
And now, in typical comedian fashion, for better or for worse, but definitely for the worst here, Schulz now is only doubling down on his comments, as when Meek Mill posted about what Schulz said and did right now, Schulz clapped back and made fun of Meek for being someone who was rumored to be involved in situations of the same nature. And this is just a crazy way to talk when everyone is trying to find one more reason to just take you down forever. And really, with this situation, we are only seeing the start of the consequences of crashing.
See, that, you seem to like it, was actually, I don't think it's going to hurt him much, because there is some sort of cleverness to that. There's some sort of because he's alluding to the freak mill stuff. It's quick, it's concise, it's not wordy. It was actually, there's a creative take, and there's almost like a subverted. He didn't just go, don't say I can't say that. He kind of just said, you seem to like it. See, now that's a joke. That's a quip. That was clever to me. The other stuff is, or more clever than just...
With his entire brand and with
how I'm bigger than you. Let me guess. And when you go to jail, he's going to get assaulted by somebody named Tiny. Yeah. He's going to be a big black guy. Oh, I've never seen that.
People who have actually been affected by what he is saying, and in general, how he has disrespected hip-hop culture by trying to make Lamar seem like he is the person in the wrong.
I'm not even mad at the disrespect of culture. I'm just mad you're not funny, bro.
Drake has kept prevalent more than ever in this era. Which again just shows how delusional and out of touch.
And your haircut is awful, my nigga. Oh my God. That boy went to the barbershop and asked for the Third Reich. Oh my God.
Schulz can't just run away into his own world and let these things blow over, because some of his most
Charlamagne,
valuable
where you at,
are
bro?
Directly rooted in hip-hop culture, as he has an entire show with somebody like Charlamagne.
Charlamagne, I'm going to keep it real. If y'all looking for Charlamagne to be the voice of reason to Andrew Schulz in this moment, I would keep moving. I'm gonna keep it real. I don't think he's going to. He's going because Andrew Schulz has done this thing, or comedians have done this thing where they act like since they're a comedian, they get this like racism protection blanket, or they get like this consequences don't hit me blanket, and they go, oh, they should be able to say anything they want and no consequences. And we're gonna get more mad at the consequences than what they said, and it's like, what?
And even
if he has the right to say what he has the right to say, then everybody has the right to say what the right to say. As long as nobody's going to jail over. Guess what? Even if you get beat up for words you say, you know that's not taking away your freedom of speech, right? Now the person who beats you up could get in trouble, can get legal, but you know your freedom of speech was not impeded in any way. You know that, right? Like
with
people just don't know what freedom of speech really means.
Charlemagne has said over the years, between his obligation as a leader in hip hop media and with all of his
and as a leader in
this
black
could even change
culture,
their dynamic.
I don't consider him that, but that's what he, people have said, and that's what
forever, and maybe even cause the duo to split if Schulz continues to double down.
He's not splitting from Andrew. So
and
are
again,
you serious?
It's too early to see how all of this ends up, and with how much of a conversation this has already been, and how much attention and backlash it's bringing Schulz. I'm sure he's going to continue to talk about this and maybe even dedicate more time to it in an actual comedy special for now. Due to the way people just can't handle Kendrick Lamar coming at them and calling them out for whatever reason. We have seen another public figure with so much at stake just make such a tasteless move to try and win their back and forth with him, and the outcome could...
Alright, the so much is doing a lot of heavy lifting in that sentence. That nigga don't got... You comparing it to Drake? Come on now, it's not the same thing at all.
Not have been worse.
You don't have as much to lose
Drake
at all.
And Schulz, the greater question we have to ask is that in these pivotal times when your greatness could come out, how do you manage to not just disrespect people, but also the very art form you try and represent when doing these responses? Because both for Drake and rap and Schulz and comedy, they just never made the respective mediums they created look worse by aiming for such a low bar to call somebody out with. And really, when we look at both Drake and Andrew Schulz in their own ways, when you understand their careers and the places they hold in their respective fields...
Wait, what was the cases? I feel like Fantastic Hip Hop said that there was cases brought up, but didn't even mention further on.
Really two different sides of the same problem, because when it comes to actually representing the culture of the thing they are from, since they have been deceiving people for most of their careers because they don't actually have the real talent it takes to make it, they just...
stop that. I know nobody hates Drake more than Fantastic Hip Hop, but saying that nigga doesn't have the talent to do anything, Andrew Schulz, now the verdict's out on that nigga. But Drake, stop it, nigga. We could all say Drake laws. I think them lawsuits is the corniest thing, and I lost a lot of respect for that nigga. But he's talented.
Just crumble in these times where the most skilled artists show how great they are. So overall, as we see Kendrick Lamar take another person's career away just with a few bars, it's never been more clear that
is it really away?
Even outside of rap and hip hop,
I just don't think Andrew Schulz is big enough, and his bubble, right, like enjoys stuff like this, right? I'm not saying all Andrew Schulz fans are racist, because absolutely not. Now I will say, if you're racist, you probably wouldn't have a problem being an Andrew Schulz fan.
He ended up causing the downfall of people's careers in far other mediums. And so now with all this said, let me know, what do you think of this entire...
Now, I don't know if his career is over like that, but I do enjoy the cultural takedown of all these goofies. So tomorrow, tune in. Speaking of cultural goofies, my whacked out mural freestyle is dropping. And don't worry, I'm just a fan. What up, big?